Have you ever sat with someone in silence? No words, just that deep connection in your eyes. And you wondered, does she truly love me? Not lust, not convenience, but real soul-shaking love. If you've ever felt the sting of heartbreak, the weight of an unanswered text, or the cold silence of a love that once burned bright, then this video is going to hit home. Before we dive in, if you're someone who's been trying to make sense of love, heartbreak, or just trying to become a better man, hit that subscribe button and like this video. Watch it till the very end, because the 6 questions I'm about to reveal can shift your entire perspective on what love really is. This might just change your love life forever. Alright, let's rewind a bit. He went by the name Aaron. Not the most outspoken individual present, not too showy, but profound, reflective. The type of guy who would prefer a quiet night in with a good book and coffee than a wild night out at the clubs. They crossed paths at a bookshop. Timeless, isn't it? Standing in the psychology aisle, she looked down at a worn copy of Attached. They locked eyes, laughed and smiled awkwardly at one another. A chain reaction ensued, and before you knew it, coffee had transformed into dinner, and dinner became lengthy walks, which in turn transformed into months of cherished memories. This time it was different. However, Aaron had experienced burning before. I was left out in the cold and given no reason why. Was ignored, let down, controlled environment. Thus he was conflicted while falling for her. But then, she probed him with a query. He was interrupted in the middle of his speech by one that struck so deeply. An inquiry that went beyond the superficial. No, what does your day job entail? Do you have a preferred hue? Kind of inquiry. No, this one got to the depths of his being. Then everything fell into place. Only a lady whose heart is full of love for you would ask certain questions. She is concerned, not inquisitive. Why? Because she is more interested in getting to know you than in merely being in your acquaintance. We can dissect them piece by piece. 1. What do you fear the most? What is the one thing no one knows about you? I have a question for you. That hidden dread that follows you like a shadow. Avoid spiders. Stay away from the shadows. Still a more fundamental aspect. As if left behind, or the worry that one is inadequate. Yeah, the one in question. Recall that no one has ever wanted to know your thoughts on the matter. Honestly, out of love and not out of mere curiosity, no one had ever requested that of Aaron before. Not according to his ex, not among his companions, certainly not on his own. She, however, did it. On a chilly night, he sat on the balcony, gazing at the city skyline as a chill breeze brushed over his face. Suddenly she inquired, "What is your greatest fear?" The man stood still. Reason being that inquiry? He had spent years constructing that barricade, but that one ripped through it. Does it ever happen to you? Feeling like you want to confide in someone, but you're not sure if it would be safe to do so? You see, Aaron wasn't always someone who kept to himself and thought things out. A little while ago, he was very outspoken, sure of oneself. He was unyielding until his heart broke. A SMS message broke the spell of his previous relationship. 3 icy phrases condensed from 3 years of love. He has been extremely guarded ever since. Before this female entered the picture, his occupation and movie preferences weren't the only thing she was interested in. She was curious as to why his hands trembled as he slept, the reason he would occasionally avoid looking into mirrors, what roused him to perspiration and a beating heart in the dead of night. That inquiry, "What is your greatest fear?" wasn't only something to talk about. It served as a suggestion. A woman's genuine affection for you goes beyond her desire to bask in your glow. Even your shadow side is something she's curious about. An emotional attunement is what psychologists refer to this. It entails picking up on other people's emotions, even when they can't put words to them. And you can sense it when a lady loves you like this. Her actions will not embarrass you. She will receive them. On the other hand, what is real? Nothing like this ever happens to most males. Be strong is something we're urged to do. Stoic, rock solid. You don't need to be flawless to be loved, though. It indicates that even when you're at your worst, you are still picked. Now I want to know, what is your worst fear? The terror of everlasting solitude? Apprehension about being completely comprehended? The terror that you're past the point of being loved? Do you know whether she ever asked? You left your heart and soul on that girl, that individual who abruptly disappeared, that person whose spirit lives on in music that you simply cannot bear to hear. Was it ever her intention to learn about your anxieties? If she didn't, it might mean she never wanted to love you for who you really are, simply the version that was pleasant to be in the company of. Asking is a certain way to know a lady loves you. Plus, you'll feel secure, perhaps for the first time in a long time, when she asks, "Please tell me how your most recent breakup affected you." Come on, folks. Please recall the last time you experienced heartbreak. That one I know. The one you choose to keep quiet about. That one that never really leaves you when you're driving late at night, and that particular music comes on. The one who taught you to love may seem to be fading away. I have to ask, how did it affect you personally? Do you remember ever been asked that? That question caught Aaron completely off guard. They had a late meal and were strolling back on a chilly evening. How did she break you? She said, her eyes meeting his. For a while, he pretended not to care. Oh, do you really want to know? However, she halted her stride, started at him directly. I am interested in knowing, he stated, for the simple reason that I am interested in getting to know the man before me. And suddenly, he snapped. He informed her about the infidelity-riddled female, the one who cheerfully told fibs, the one who first told him she loved him before going missing for 3 weeks. Described to her how it triggered his paranoia, how he began to doubt the motives of everyone around him, how his love life became more icy and chilly as he became more analytical. Also, are you aware of her actions? Get over it and move on were not her words. Her attention was captivated. No criticism. Take your time. No more than that. Psychology refers to this as witnessing. It's being there for someone when they're hurting and not attempting to repair them. Just listening. As it is a type of healing. The worst part is that the vast majority of people will never even think to ask this. Your emotional baggage is something they would rather not deal with. They prefer the carefree you. This is the healed version. What about a woman who loves you with all her heart? She'll be curious to hear about the fights you've been through. Sitting with the shattered parts, she will want to declare, I see it and I'm still here. Consider this. Was your ex ever interested in learning about the ways in which she caused you pain before she entered your life? Alternately, was her expectation that you love her as if you had never experienced pain? The first step toward recovery is hearing the words, I get why you're guarded and I'm not going. Please tell me how your most recent breakup affected you. Were you made tougher? Is the thought of falling again terrifying to you? Did you learn to hide your suffering by smiling through it? You are free to be open about that. Because if their love for you is genuine, they will inquire. Even while the tempest rages within you, they'll opt to dance in the downpour. But what's your biggest dream? What do you imagine when no one is looking? I have a personal question for you. Other than only professional aspirations, neither wealth nor fame, that profound longing nevertheless. That one you keep to yourself. Perhaps it's creating something significant. Perhaps it's easing the ancestral anguish in your family. Perhaps it's as simple as receiving love without having to put on an act. Let me get to the heart of the matter by asking you whether any lady has ever asked you that. When Aaron was in a relationship before, he felt like they were always trading places. Tell me what you accomplished today. Was the table reserved? Could you kindly fetch this item for me? What set his spirit ablaze, though, remained a mystery to her. Next she arrived. On a Sunday afternoon, they went to a park to lie on the grass and gaze at the clouds. The question, what's your biggest dream, came out of nowhere as she turned to him. What would you strive for if there was no such thing as failure? At first, Aaron found it funny. Pronounced a rather harmless word, something he believed she would find acceptable. However, she ensured that he was caught red-handed. By real one, I mean the opposite. Which one is terrifying due of its size? It had a different effect. Reason being, nobody had ever bothered to ask him about it. A lady who loves you deeply cares about more than just the here and now. She dreams about the days when you are both of them. She longs to be a part of your transformation into a man. That was the day Aaron finally shared. He confided in her that he wished to establish a sanctuary where troubled youths might recover, particularly those who had been urged to man up rather than speak out. He hoped to write a book, establish a foundation, and find meaning in his suffering. And it wasn't as if she merely glanced and nodded. She probed for details. Had a great time with him. You might be able to pull this off, I told him. Surely you are aware of that. Plus, he felt a change deep within. He trusted her word. The power lies in a woman's inability to laugh when she sees your vision. When one spouse gives up on their dreams and the other gives up on caring, the relationship is likely to end. But genuine love lights a fire under people's hearts. That won't make them smaller. Consider your most recent romantic bond. Was your dream history ever broached with her? Or was it really a question of what you could offer her? Was she ever interested in working on a project with you or simply reaping the benefits of your solo efforts? Have you ever met someone who adored your aspirations as if they were their own? The reason being that a loving lady will desire to accompany you on your journey, not only inquire about your aspirations. 4. What's your relationship with your father like? Difficulty level high. Just for a second, I want you to focus on your dad. Yeah, that guy. That connection impacted you more than you may know, regardless of how often he was present or how little, whether he was a hero or the object of your greatest pain. Aaron had a father that was physically there for him every day, but emotionally distant, always on the go, never resting, a guy of few words, never harsh but also never blatant. So it was important for Aaron to learn early on to be quiet. Vulnerability, he realized, was a sign of weakness, that men remained composed. It was deeds, not words, that demonstrated their love. Then she arrived. Just the two of them, a glass of wine, and some gentle music made for a relaxing evening. They were reminiscing about their youth. With a smile on her face, she inquired, "How is your bond with your dad?" Time seemed to stand still. A knot formed in Aaron's throat. His pulse rate increased. That was no ordinary inquiry. This is because she was curious about his background. She wasn't only attempting to win him over, she was making an effort to comprehend him. A lady who loves you deeply understands that your history isn't something to hide, but rather something to celebrate. Every bit, including the painful ones. In particular those. Gradually, Aaron began to relax. He expressed to her his lifelong desire for deeper human connection. His father's coldness was something he occasionally hated. He was so afraid he would turn into that type of guy after that. As an added bonus, she showed no judgment. She remained silent. Her attention was captivated. Carefully took notes. She then said something that will stay with him forever. "You're already becoming the father. You wish you had." He lost it. Why? Because for so long he believed that being silent was a sign of strength. Being acknowledged and acknowledged was what gave him strength at that moment. Origin awareness is what psychologists refer to. Invisible or not, we all carry stories from our families. Our love partners might reflect our deepest, most unresolved emotions. A loving lady will want to comprehend your reflection. She doesn't want to repair you, but rather be there for you while you develop. Consider your own narrative now. How would you describe the impact your father had on you? Is there a safe place where you can talk about how you feel? Why? Because it's possible she isn't interested in getting to know you if she never asks. And the reality is you have to go deep to get deep love, and that encompasses your formative years as well. Your injuries, apprehensions about taking on the role of your father or even never knowing him. What was your dynamic like with your dad? I must ask again. Is it even more critical that no one has ever bothered to inquire? 5. When was the last time you truly cried? Let's broach a subject that many women avoid asking men. Is it been a while since you shed a real tear? I was unmoved. Complete absence of quiet. Really, I mean it. That sob that trembles your very being, the sort that tightens your chest and brings an indescribable anguish to the surface. Can you recall? Long has passed since Aaron's last sob, including funerals. Not even after his ex-girlfriend banned his number and left him with an echo. In his mind, shedding tears showed weakness. Be a man was a phrase he'd heard ad nauseum. Embrace it. Stand firm. Therefore, he hid everything rather than experience it. Well, that is until the night she made the request. An ancient film was playing in the background. That kind that makes you feel a mix of reminiscence and long-forgotten pain. In addition, when the credits rolled, I desire gentle love, he continued. Quietness allows me to go unquestioned. Not in front of me or behind me, but beside me, that is what I seek. Without trying to change me, but with enough faith in me to stick around when I falter, is the kind of person I'm looking for. I can love you like that, she said him as she stared at him through her tears. At that same second, Aaron put his faith in her. Because there's more going on than simply a romantic interest. When someone asks you how you'd want to be loved, they want to learn about you. Everyone has their own unique way of showing and receiving love. No one solution will work for everyone. For some, words are essential. Not everyone can be physically present. For some, being held is a way to express affection. Yet others, when their voices are acknowledged. A common misconception, however, persists. They believe that everyone's definition of love is universal. Not at all. Despite what psychologists term it, there is more to this than meets the eye. You feel protected when you get affection, and it's not simply because you appreciate it. Now I want to know, how do you envision being loved? Who asked your previous partner, if anyone? Or have you been so devoted to being there for other people that you've forgotten that you deserve the same treatment? She might not have been attempting to love you if she hadn't asked. Perhaps all she wanted was to feel loved by herself. If she loves you with all her heart, she will. I'm sure she'll still be curious. Nothing will be assumed by her. Avoid broad statements. She will not make any. She'll inquire. Plus, she's an attentive listener. Conclusion. Aaron just isn't one of those characters. He represents those men who have experienced pain, yet hold on to hope. You are he. You perched here, questioning the veracity of love like this. If you happen to come across someone who inquires about this, who is able to look under the surface, those who opt to remain, true love does exist, I can assure you. The first step is self-love, which means refusing to compromise. She will come. So be sure to pay attention when she asks you questions. Why? Because love isn't always demonstrated through flashy displays. Curiosity, patience, and presence are how it whispers at times. A woman's genuine affection for you is when she won't only caress your flesh, your own being will be her target. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.